Hey folks, most welcome to the Rising Being Show. And here we have an amazing speaker who's going to talk about the business development. She is a veteran person in this industry. So let's listen to her about her journey, how she got started, and how is she doing the things amazingly in her business right now. So let's listen to her. She is from USA. Now, hi Tonya Brewington, you are most welcome over here. I really would like to welcome you over here.
Thank you, Abby. It's nice to be here with you at this time. It's evening for me. It's 10:30 p.m. for me. I know it's the next day for you. So, hey, I'm glad to be here with you.
So I really would like to tell my audience that I am welcoming her to the future, right? You're most welcome to the future. so,
Absolutely.
so Tanya, my audience would like to listen a little introduction from you.
Well, I'm Tonya Brewington. I am the CEO and founder of Courageously Alive. We help entrepreneurs who are high achieving business people who have experienced trauma, drama, and tragedy and have gotten stuck there. They've shrunk and they've gotten stuck. We help them to heal so that they can thrive and they can prosper in their business and in their life. And that's what we do. We offer coaching services. We offer one-on-one coaching. We also offer group coaching so that they can actually address the issues and move on and find success in what they're doing.
All right. So that's something outstanding. It's like we can, before we understand what is the business development, we need to understand how to grow, how to develop yourself, how to grow as a person. So I believe that is what is the most important part, because I have heard from many of the mentors, highly effective mentors, they are like, your business is what you are. So in order to grow your business effectively, you got to grow yourself effectively. So that would be an amazing experience for me and my audience as well, to hear it from you, a veteran like you, about the business development. So my audience really would like to know, about your journey. How did you get started?
Well, actually, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been in business. I've been a consultant for almost 20 years. In September of this year, it will be 20 years that I've been a consultant. And I've been a software developer, a web designer, really in the technology space. That's been the consulting work, e-learning developer, designer, developer, instructional designer. So I've been in the technology space, developing training and other materials for my customers and my clients. The reason I actually kind of pivoted, so to speak, or actually added on coaching is because in 2013, I actually lost my daughter. And it was such a devastating experience for me. And it caused me to have to rethink how I wanted to come back and actually what I wanted to see happen in my life after that. And in the process of coming back from this type of loss, which is where I really lost the will to live for myself. But in order to come back, I had to do some work, serious work. And it really involved for me a lot of reckoning with what had happened. I spent a lot of time working through forgiveness because I had a lot of anger, I had a lot of grief. But in the process of doing that, what I found was that the more work I did on myself, the better I was feeling internally. I felt released and just relieved from the experiences that I had in my past. I felt I was disconnecting from people who just didn't benefit me any longer. I was changing my beliefs about who I was and what I was capable of. And along the way, what I learned is that as I was healing and as I was going through these transformations for myself, it was changing the way I was conducting business. And as a result of that, I started developing coaching programs to actually teach people the process that I went through in order to get to the place where I am today.
All right, that's really inspiring journey. As you mentioned that you lost your daughter, and after that you are just separating yourself from from socializing yourself, and then you rebuilt yourself, and then you got started over and again. But what was the missing that you understood was like, one has to grow as a person in order to develop that business. So that's how you got started into this, right? So this is really something inspiring, So here are a couple of questions related to the, I really wanted to, talk about a lot about your the all the journey that you have been through, how the journey have been. So, but just to make it so concise and clear, we have a set of questions that I really would like to ask over here, and I really would like to get started over here. It's like, you know, the moment that you got started into this business of web development, that being a tech person, tech savvy, to being a coaching person, right? Being a coach. So what was the transition and how did that transformation happen?
Well, I was working in the technology space because that's the kind of work I did when I had a job. Before I started business, I was doing that kind of work for my employer at that time. I was a software developer and was very good at what I was doing, and decided that I wanted to start a business for myself. So I wanted to really be able to, quote unquote, be my own boss. Really allow myself to work with several different kinds of businesses at will, because I had a pattern of staying at a company really between 2 to 5 years, and that was like my limit, because I felt like I needed to do more. I would really get bored, and I needed to have another experience. And so, in the process of doing work as a consultant, I was able to um, actually work with several different kinds of businesses, and it meant that you're not there forever. You're there to help provide a service, and then you come out and you work with someone else to do the same thing. And along the way, I've hired people to actually help me do services, and I've also just gone from business to business to help support them through the different areas that they had need of.
All right. So, like, that's something interesting. So let's move to the next question that we have over here. Like, what do you think that while you were getting started while you were transitioning from tech savvy to being a coach, so what were the mistakes that you committed?
Oh man, one of the things that's different about being a coach, particularly the type of coach that I am, is a mindset coach. And the difference is technology is so cut and dry, so to speak. It's right or wrong. It's very impersonal. It can be fairly impersonal. But when I went to working with coaching, it's a very interpersonal thing. You're getting to the space of dealing with people in their vulnerability, which means I had to rethink how I was engaging with my clients and my customers. There were things that I had to learn about marketing to this type of customer with this kind of message that was different than marketing with technology. It's a different approach. And while it does work, I had to actually hire a coach for myself so that I began to understand the process, the systems that you had to put in place, the approach that you had to adopt, the mindset that it really took to actually allow yourself to do the work that you're doing, and to charge people appropriately for the work that you're doing, for the coaching services that you're giving. Because I think that there was a point where I felt that perhaps I shouldn't charge them quite so much for this. But the bottom line is, if you're in business, you're in business, and you're in business to make a profit first. You are also there to help people, but you can't help people if you don't have enough to sustain your business.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
that's like, while I was getting started and I started charging more, what I felt, I was like, Abhinandan, you're charging so much. Why would people pay you? And people have no money. And I was just trying to empathize with people. Okay, if you do not have money, come in this much money only. But after interacting with codes like six-figure codes, seven-figure codes, $1 million codes, and the mentors, as they taught me, so my mindset got changed. It's like you are just, not valuing yourself until unless
Exactly.
you want to value yourself. You're just trying to, when you are decreasing the price, you are decreasing your value as well, right? So I understood this and I was like, okay, I mean, then you are not going to do this. Let's do one thing. When you have the people who are paying the price that you want, then those people seem like they are committed. They would do whatever it takes to be done in their business, right? It's not about the
Right.
money then. So this is how what the mindset that we want in our business. So this is what really interesting, that in order to develop a good business, highly effective business, we got to develop ourselves as a person, and we got to have people who have the good mindset and the growth mindset, right? So let's move to the next question that we have over here is like, what do you think how we can avoid, let's say, if I am as a beginner asking you as my audience, so what kind of mistakes that you have already committed, how can we avoid that?
Well, some of the mistakes I made, at least initially, were, as you're talking about, undercharging. And what I will say is, it doesn't necessarily mean you're devaluing your person, you're devaluing your service. And what you have to account for is the skills that you already have, the expertise that you have already. And you have to ask yourself questions like, why is this particular service such a steal at this particular price? Because if you are a transformative coach, then the value that the person gets is one that you really can't put a price on, because it will change their lives. And the question becomes, how much does it cost for you to change your life? And I don't know what your services cost, but when you're looking at it from that standpoint, you have to actually charge appropriately in order to have people commit themselves to the transformation. Because if you give something for free, people tend not to value it very often. But when they're charging, when they are actually paying the price, then they take what they're doing more seriously, because they want to get the most that they can from the price that they're from what they're paying for. So you have to charge appropriately, because your intention is to create a transformation. And in order for them to take it seriously, they have to actually be committed. And usually it's not until you have to actually pay something significant, because this is what's happening. They're stepping out of their comfort zone in order to have the transformation. And so they're not stepping out of their comfort zone if they're paying the lowest possible price.
All right, that's true. That's 100% true, right?
Yeah.
So here's my next question is like, what do you think, what are those myths about the business development and charging high?
When you say myths, what do you mean?
I can say in the simple word, it's like, what is the lie of the business that people have uh, imagined that is wrong? They have assumed it wrong.
Um, I think one of the things that people assume is wrong is that whatever they're doing has to be perfect before they actually offer it.
All
And the
right.
truth is, if you have something that can benefit other people, there is someone out there who can actually benefit from what you're offering. And even though you may not be 10 steps ahead of the person that you're helping, if you're ahead of someone, you can actually reach back and teach them how to do what they need to do in order to get to where you are, so that they can actually elevate their life. And they're doing something called up leveling. They're changing from where they are to another phase in their life, which may be where you are at that time. And so the myth is, well, I haven't done enough, or I don't have enough to share with other people. But all of us have something that we can share with someone. And if you have a service or you have a product, there's always an audience somewhere if you're marketing it appropriately.
All right. So I believe my audience is there listening to you very carefully, and I want them to listen to you very carefully so that they understand the points and they also make their business booming, right? And the
Yeah.
people who are watching us right now live, I must say that if you are here on the video, must like it, subscribe to the channel if you are new over here, and share this video to your friends. And let's move to the next question. So here we have the
Okay.
next question over here is like, when it comes to keeping the pricing, charging them, let's say as a beginner, if I am the new into this business, so I feel like, how much should I charge to people, to my target audience? So How was your experience? How did you get started with charging?
Actually, I was, like I said, I was undercharging. I really was. But one of the things I found, even in consulting, at first I was undercharging, but there would come a point as I was working with clients when I felt like I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much for what I've charged them. And it's just as, it was like an instinctive thing. I knew that I was doing too much for the price that I had charged them. And so what wound up happening is when I hired a coach and we were talking about my pricing, then this person would say, you need to double your price. And I was like, oh no, I can't double my price because it felt uncomfortable. But the growth is in understanding the value of what you're offering and in understanding the value of it. And what you might have to do in order to understand that is actually I list out what people are going to get as a result of working with you. And when you look at it and you can evaluate, is this valuable? And if it's valuable, then you have to charge appropriately. But I know for me, what really helped me was having a coach who pushed me to go beyond what I was comfortable with. So I had to get out of my own comfort zone in that area.
That's completely all right. That's why it is really important to have a coach, have a mentor that is accountable with you and helping you, pushing you to go beyond your limits, right? And I believe if that coach wasn't with you, you would still have been charging the like under the price,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So that's all right. Let's do you suggest any step guide that how one can start the business development step by step?
Well, I think first of all, you have to be clear about what you're trying to offer. Secondly, you have to really look at who is going to buy this particular thing that you're trying to offer. Third, you have to actually organize it in a way that makes sense. Like, do you have a customer journey? If you're only offering one product, that's fine. Then you don't really necessarily have a customer journey, except you're thinking about how to market to this particular person. Okay. So you have to look at all the options available to you for marketing. And then you have to decide the best approach to get someone from I don't know you to a point where they're actually ready to purchase your service, product or service. And then you have to actually look at what it takes to follow up with them, what it takes to deliver, because you can get them in as a client, but then you have to deliver on what you say you're going to do. And in the process, you have to think about what it looks like when your customers are engaging with you. What is that entire experience like? So you, as the person who's creating a product or a service, you have the authority basically to create everything that surrounds that particular service. And so here you are, you allow your creativity to come out and you think about the customer experience and you think about what you want that customer to experience as they're engaging with you. And you get to map that entire thing out. And you might have to do a marketing plan, your marketing plan for the year for some cases, or a marketing plan for a specific launch or deliverable. And so you're thinking through all of these different pieces. And what I would say is helpful is to actually take a sheet of paper, take a piece of whiteboard on your wall, and just map the whole thing out, because that will help you to identify what you need to do at each stage of the process.
All right. So this is really like one can follow and one can, make it as their framework to work on it. So make it a funnel like this and put your services, whatever you are offering, and then follow it, make it happen. Right. So this is really outstanding. There's a last question that is left over here, and I really want to ask that. What do you think is a good tip for the audience who is watching us right now?
I would say to you that if you have a desire to be an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
do it. Do it. It is one of the most interesting things that you can do in your life. For one thing, it's a big faith walk. I consider it a big faith walk, but I also think that it's one of the biggest personal development journeys you will take. Because in order for you to be successful in entrepreneurship, you have to grow as a person. whatever is happening within you, internally within you, is going to show up in all areas of your life. And if you want to be successful on the external outside, you have to be a successful person internally. And so if you're interested in entrepreneurship, business ownership, do it, commit to personal growth, because it is the one thing that will ensure your success as a business owner.
Right. That's really outstanding, like the amazing tip over here. And you know what I understand is whenever I have attended any of the meetings, webinars, seminars, what I have found mostly is like people are talking about the self-development, and that's how the business has grown. So I really would like to, thank you over here for coming over here and adding immense value to my audience and providing them the amazing tips, strategies they can follow. How, if let's say if people are charging under the price, how they can charge high. That's what you shared, and people can learn that. And you also shared the step guide how they can develop their business in an effective manner. So I really would like to thank to my audience as well. They have been over here, they have been watching us, showing that love and support. So thank you so much to my audience as well, and to my amazing guest, Tonya Brewington from USA. Signing off. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.